Greetings and welcome to the modeling bench for the first actual doing something on the AW101 Sky Full Edition. As you can see, I got a lot of bits and bobs on the desk here. I've actually put in a couple of hours on this. The first build night, I realized the camera was out of battery. The camera battery had no charge. And the second build night, I realized I forgot to charge the battery. So this is the third night. And here we are. What has been going on with this chopper is basically drill here, drill there, shave this, fill in this, remove this part, do these things, make some holes. Just like the Sea King. And also, I've been sanding and sanding and sanding and sanding. There were some pots on the outside here, both sides, that I needed to sand off. You can see the remnants there. The inside was easy, just add a couple of holes here. This one glues straight into place. Now the rear bulkhead that goes in here had some nasty ejection pin marks going on there. So one was proud, the other one was sunk, whatever. So sand, fill, sand again. Now the side pieces, they didn't glue straight in. They needed quite a fettling to get them to line up so they wouldn't stand proud of the fuselage. We had another little accident here with my thumbprint, but that's an easy fix. Now I didn't bother with any of the ejection pin marks on the inside on this side because I'm not gonna have the rear loading door open, just the side door here with a machine gun coming out of it. So I had to sand the entire side piece here because it had loads and loads of ejector pin marks. I actually left this one in. Why? I don't know. Just hoping nobody will see it. But I did some filling here and I got it as tight as I could. And what else? Oh yeah, because we're gonna have it open like this, so we're gonna see on the inside of this wall. I decided to fill in some holes on this side as well. Goes in somewhat like this. So you can look inside there and you won't see the huge hole, which is like this one, where you can put an extra window in if needed. So yeah, this is looking like a little scary kit a little bit. We're gonna have loads and loads of gaps between the tail sections. So yeah, I'm prepared to do some puttying. But anyways, yeah, this is where I'm at right now. I need to sand this stuff down and get this all painted up in the different colors. This time I'm actually doing more than just dull gray. This has gotta be one shade of gray, this has gotta be another shade of gray. This is the same shade of gray as this. And then we get to put some chromate green in here. So I'm working away on this interior, trying to make it look good, get all the ejector pin marks filled and sanded or whatever is needed. And I think to myself, I'm actually taking away interest from the interior by removing these marks and filling the gaps and stuff. Because there's really no detail at all in there, besides perhaps the ejector pin marks and that kind of stuff. So I looked at a picture online of a Merlin cargo hold, and it has this quilted lining on the inside of it, like many choppers do, many cargo aircraft do even. And there has to be a way to add some quilted material on the inside, and that got my mind running wild, and I ended up coming up with a thing where I take aluminum or tin foil and I add the quilting into it, and this is the end result. It may not be quite accurate, but it is close enough to scale for me, at least, to look nice. And I just let it drape down like that, like it is. It looks like a material, not a hard surface. And the quilting is maybe not perfect, but all I'm going with here is actually using my wife's cutting board, the chopping board for my kitchen. I'm not sexist, but yeah, I thought I'd show how I do the quilting into the tinfoil, because after I posted this on Facebook yesterday, I got a lot of requests and people asking me how I did this and what materials I used and stuff. So the stuff I use for this is quite large and it doesn't quite fit my table, so I'm going to move us over to my dining table. Okay, so for this thing you're gonna need something to give the texture to the aluminum foil, and in this case I'm using IKEA cutting board called Legitim or something, if you want to go get that exact same thing. As you can see, this is a fairly used chopping board. I keep saying cutting board, but it does have an unused part here in the corner, and that's enough for me. Here's another one. I can't even remember which side I used. I think I used this corner yesterday, but it doesn't really matter. As long as it's not used quite a lot, you can see the texture in that. Just a bunch of dots. And when you put that askew, you got the what did I call it just a minute ago? The pattern. Whatever. The checkering. Quilting. Yeah, so now you got the thing that has the actual texture. And this is pretty good for 72nd scale in my opinion. If you were doing a 48 scale, maybe you could use one of those nets that come with fruits, like or tangerines and that kind of stuff. And I'm sorry if the focus goes all blurry. But of course you need your tin foil, your aluminum foil in my case. And the smoother it is, the better. So I'm gonna try and not get any kinks in it and that kind of stuff. I know I got a large piece there. You don't need that large piece, at least not for my application. And then you have to push the the foil down into the cutting board or your texture or whatever. And instead of using my hands, because I tried using my hands, but then I kept pressing and it lifted and didn't look so good. I got multiple patterns on the same plane and it didn't look good, yeah. So I thought I'd try something bigger, but still soft, so it can go inside all of the divots and get the texture really into the tinfoil. Because I'm gonna handle this tinfoil a lot afterwards, like we need to cut it into shapes. Actually gluing it in there and pushing it down when you're gluing it so it sticks. So I got this piece of foam board. It's quite a large piece, but I don't want to cut it down unless I'm using it for something. But at this stage it is absolutely crucial that the foam board is fairly smooth, because if you got like these parts, then they're not gonna press hard enough on the foil and you're gonna miss out on the texture. So with the fairly smooth side, down, like so. Just place it on top and press down as hard as you can. Yesterday I had this on the floor and I stepped on it, but I'm gonna try and do this on the table today, just with my hands. And you don't have to press this hard maybe, but like I said, I really want to get the texture in there. So it moved a little, of course, because I'm showing it on camera. We got all them little wrinkles. But you can see the texture there in the tinfoil. And on this side is the actual texture side that I want to use in the chopper. Now it doesn't matter if it moved like that and I got them lines, because I got at least one good piece out of it. I will have to do more, of course, for the rest of what I need, but you get the point. You get how this is done. So yeah, now all I gotta do is fit this inside the fuselage. And the way I did that was I simply laid in some paper templates, or laid in some paper and draw a line around it and cut it out. Got some templates out of it. Now, as you can see, I did cut the window holes out of this one, but I quickly discovered I don't need to do that. It's even better just to glue it all in, and then afterwards let the glue set for a little bit, and then go in there with a sharp blade, X-Acto knife, or some hobby knife or something, and cut out the window. So I'm going to go do that right now. I don't think I need to show you the application. Of course, application varies depending on the model. But yeah, that's the method I used. So and that's the other side finished. It's not perfect. It's not the same layout as the reference picture I saw, but it'll do for what I needed to do. This side only has to be only will be viewable through the windows here, so it doesn't have to be perfect. This side is not perfect at all either, but it'll do what I needed to do, so I'm satisfied with it. And this may not be the perfect solution. This is not the way to do it. This is just a way to add some interior detail. Feel free to comment if you have another way to do this. I'd love to find out. And before I paint this, I'm gonna primer this, because I'm not gonna rely on the paint sticking to the foil. So yeah, it is, I do believe, paint time. Forward in time. Like, there was a Wayne's World reference if you didn't get it. But yeah, I got most of the big interior parts painted up. Now the tinfoil turning out the way I intended. You can't even see it because the camera won't focus. But yeah, subtle effect, and my build buddy putting her impressions in there. I got the seats from the back painted. Still need to put in a dark wash on everything, in fact. And the seats on the front, kinda just going by my own color design with that. And I have decals for the seat belts in those. I got decals to put in on the flat surfaces that we call the dash, or instrument panels even. It had quite a nasty ejector marks on the face of this, so I sanded it down after I painted it, because it just had the black primer in there. I I did the whole thing without checking it first. No big deal though. Yeah, planning on finishing the interior tonight. And be back then. So that's the interior done. I even put instruments in the canopy. Now the decals, the instrument decals, they were horrible, absolutely horrible. I had them in the hot water for several minutes, and while they did get loose from the backing paper, they still did not like get all the way wet, the backing paper, I mean. So I don't know why that is. Perhaps the decals are too thick or something, but the center behind the decal was always like dry still, but they came loose and slid right off onto the thing, and like after microset and microsole, they're still not even completely stuck down there, so I'm trying not to touch them. And they seem quite prone to silvering along the carrier film, although they don't have much carrier film, but yeah, it's making me a little bit worried about the outside. So yeah, that's that. But anyways, I did the machine gun platform insert and dry brushed it with gunmetal to give it a little more worn look. It's an aftermarket thought, of course, from the bad guys to put in there, so it's black instead of the gray. Now the cockpit, I kind of went with my own scheme for the seats, with intermediate blue, dark intermediate blue for the cushions, thinking I can do whatever I want. Since this is a movie helicopter, this is not an actual helicopter, so to speak. I can do what I want with this, let my imagination run a bit. So yeah, that's that. The bad guys customized this chopper to their needs and liking, so yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But anyways, I think this video has gone on long enough, so thanks for watching. Keep modeling, keep having fun. Next video we'll see this. I'll have the fuselage buttoned up and some bits added to it, probably. Yeah, bye.